If Cleopatra were alive today, she'd be 24 years old. That's because Cleopatra was born in 69 BC and lived until 30 BC, and you can check those math skills by slapping a calculator on your forehead. In other words, we're going to make her portrait using only quotes from Cleopatra herself. So let's get started. The problem is that no one knows what she really looked like, because all of the surviving portraits of her are either bad or propaganda. So in this video, we're going to solve that problem by bringing Cleopatra to life using her own words. In his biography of Antony, Plutarch says that Cleopatra wore a special headdress during her first meeting with Antony, which caused him to think that she was a goddess. According to Pliny, Cleopatra was depicted in the statue wearing a robe that was decorated with gold and jewels. According to Propertius, Cleopatra's statue in Rome was carved from white marble and dressed in fine linen. As mentioned earlier, Pliny the Younger, who was a Roman statesman and a prolific letter writer, described Cleopatra's mole in a letter about a statue he saw in Athens. He said that the statue showed Cleopatra with a mole on her upper lip. And don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Other than that, however, Pliny didn't say anything about what the rest of her face looked like. Propertius also said that the statue was adorned with gold ornaments and precious stones. So feel free to use your imagination when filling in the blanks. For my part, I think that she would have been an extremely beautiful woman, even by today's standards. But of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Finally, we have Plutarch's description of Cleopatra's appearance at the famous feast of the Roman Emperor Caligula. Plutarch says that Cleopatra was dressed in a gown made of fine linen, and that her hair was decorated with gold. She also wore a crown made of precious stones. So based on these descriptions, we all dress Cleopatra in a simple white linen dress and accessorize with gold jewelry and a jeweled crown. He also said that the jewels on the robe matched the ones on her headdress. Perhaps her entire outfit was bedazzled. Unfortunately, Plutarch doesn't say what the headdress looked like. But we can get some clues from a poem about Cleopatra written by the Greek poet Catullus. Catullus describes how Cleopatra's hair was braided with gold. So perhaps her headdress was a sort of gold braid that she wore in her iconic meeting with Mark Antony. We'll start with her eyes, then work our way down her body. Just as Aphrodite was usually depicted in sculptures with a golden complexion, so too was Cleopatra. So for our portrait, we'll give her a golden glow when it comes to her eyes. The best source we have is a letter from the Roman philosopher Pliny the Younger about a statue he saw in Athens. According to Pliny, the statue showed Cleopatra with a mole on her upper lip and kohl eyeliner, which is a type of mascara that was popular in ancient Egypt. He also said that the statue depicted her wearing a thin veil over her face, which would cover most of her features. Given that there are no surviving portraits of Cleopatra that date to her own lifetime, we're going to go with Pliny's description for our portrait. For her hair, we'll quote another Roman writer, Plutarch. For her skin tone, we'll quote the Syrian historian Cassius Dio, who says that when Cleopatra met Caesar, she appeared before him in the form of the goddess of love, Aphrodite. Now let's move on to her clothing. We actually have some pretty good sources for this, starting with the previously mentioned statue in Athens. In addition to the statue in Athens, there was another one in Rome that was described by the Roman poet Propertius. Finally, we come to Cleopatra's most iconic feature, her mole. As you can see, Cleopatra's looks have been a matter of debate since ancient times, and thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button.